to the Entertainah Talking Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. What is this? The NFL trade deadline? The New York Giants make another trade back-to-back days. I was out doing a couple of errands. I come back, I see that the New York Giants make their second trade in 2 days, and a trade that I actually really like. And we're going to get into the specifics throughout this video as the Giants exchange cornerbacks with the Green Bay Packers. Issac Yiadom being traded for the second time in 2 years, who was a very highly thought of cornerback prospect when he was initially drafted. The same could be said for the player that they brought in, Josh Jackson, but we'll get into more details about that throughout the video. The other thing we're going to touch on is the roster cuts that the New York Giants made. Yesterday, I told you guys that I have a video up on when there was an update. Well, the one notable cut that the New York Giants made today, when they had to get down from 90 to 85, which is a new rule per the league, that after your first preseason game, you have to cut 5 players, and they're going to have to do the same thing in 6 days from today and get down to 80. Well, today they had to get down to 85. They only had to cut 3 players, though, I guess because some guys are kind of on the IR, and they got it down to 85 today. And the big name, of course, was Alfred Morris. This coming out from Adam Schefter. Giants released veteran running back Alfred Morris. Morris was brought back by the New York Giants before training camp started, I think due in large part to the fact that he actually did a pretty good job with the New York Giants last year, and the fact that they probably didn't know whether or not Saquon Barkley was going to be a go week 1. What this may signify for the New York Giants, and read this for what you will, Barkley may be a go week 1, because I honestly believe that's why Morris was brought in to begin with. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what the New York Giants ultimately decide to do at the running back position. Last year, they rostered 4 running backs, but of course, this year, Barkley may not be a bell cow running back to start. We all know he's going to get eased back in. So do the Giants, knowing it's an extra game this year as well, and maybe they want to go a little bit RBBC, running back by committee approach, maybe they roster an extra running back. We'll have to wait and see. I think 4 guys for sure are going to make this team, that being Barkley, that being Eli Penny, that, of course, being Corey Clement and Devontae Booker. But the 5th running back would be now between Sandro Platzgummer and the rookie Brightwell that they brought in via the draft if they decide to go that route. If they only go with 4, I would think both those players would stand a very good chance at making the practice squad if they're not claimed somewhere else. But that's something certainly to monitor as it gets going. Yesterday, the New York Giants made a trade, and they made a trade seemingly to upgrade their special teams, right? The guy that they brought in, I don't really think is going to have much of an impact in terms of the defense. Well, that may not be the case here with bringing in Josh Jackson, and another reason why they might have brought in Jackson is he actually is familiar with playing in special teams. He also has ties to Patrick Graham. Well, Graham was with the Green Bay Packers. We all know he was over there for a little bit as the linebackers coach. Now he comes over to the New York Giants. So don't get it twisted. I'm sure Graham had something to do with wanting to go out there and bring in Josh Jackson. Of course, just last year, the Giants traded for Yiadom when they lost DeAndre Baker after cutting him due to some of the off-the-field incidents. But this coming out from Jordan Renan. Cornerback Issac Yiadom is being traded to the Green Bay Packers per sources. Yiadom was acquired in a trade with the Denver Broncos before the start of last season, started 10 games for the Giants. And I think this is like 2 players that are eerily similar. Both of them, I think, were second-round picks. I know for a fact Josh Jackson was. I think Issac Yiadom was as well. Both came in with high expectations, and both were underwhelming at their previous stops. And now for Yiadom, his 2 previous stops. And maybe the Giants look at a guy like Jackson, maybe Graham looks at a guy like Jackson and says to himself, yeah, I could do something with this guy. This guy could be a very solid 3rd corner for the Giants. And maybe the Giants saw the way that Rodarius Williams played in that first preseason game and said, we need to start getting some upgrades. We like him, but we're not quite sure if he's ready to be that number 3 corner. And obviously, they felt the same thing about Issac Yiadom, being that they shipped him out of here. But let's learn a little bit more about Josh Jackson. Started with the Green Bay Packers for the last 3 years. Well, he only started 10 games in his rookie season, in which he played pretty well from what I've read. After that, he's been underwhelming for the Green Bay Packers. I think he had a 52 rating last year per PFF in terms of coverage. Last year, he started 5 games. Played 12 games total, but he started 5. And like I said, he's played a bit of special teams. Jackson, 25, got this off of Yahoo Sports, was a second-round pick of the Packers in 2018 NFL Draft. In 45 career games, 15 starts, he has recorded 86 tackles, 71 solo, 2 for loss, and 2 passes defended. The 6', 196-pound Jackson also plays a heavy load on special teams, which was less than stellar in Green Bay's preseason opener, but did shine in college. He was named a unanimous All-American in 2017, also winning the Jack Tatum Award and being named both first-team All-Big Ten and winner of the Jack Tatum Award while in college, which is why he went as high as he did in the draft. This off NFL.com. This was the scouting report on him coming into the pros. Overview. Long-armed bull hawk who understands how to maximize his length to disrupt the catch and take it away. Jackson could be labeled a one-year wonder, meaning that he only had one real strong year in college, is when his draft stock soared up. But 27 passes defended in a single season isn't random. He's talented, but inexperienced, and he has coverage holes that could be exploited early in his career. Jackson's draft stock likely took a hit with his average 40 time. I think it was about a 4.52 from what I read, and unimpressive work in position drills. However, he is armed with route anticipation, ball skills, and NFL length that teams covet in press man corner. What do the New York Giants play? They play press man corner. It may take time, but the tools are there to be an early starter, and that was the book on him. Many felt like he'd be a starter day one, and he kind of was with the Packers. He started 10 games before obviously being downgraded to the bench over the last couple of years. This also coming off Yahoo Sports from a Green Bay Packers perspective, talking about how he kind of disappointed in the first preseason game. This is already the second time that Yiadom has been traded. The Denver Broncos sent him to New York for a 7th-round pick last season. He'll get a chance to compete for a backup role in Green Bay in 2021. Jackson, who rarely played over the last 2 seasons, gave up 7 catches, this in the first preseason game, against his coverage on Saturday night, opening the door for his immediate departure. Jackson leaves Green Bay, having played 1,152 defensive snaps over 42 games for the Packers. He produced 12 pass breakups, but did not have an interception. So, you're obviously, he's a guy that still has major question marks, but he's still very young. He's 25 years old, and he's a guy, obviously, with some upside. He was a near first-round pick, and a guy that many felt would have went even higher had he had a better 40 time at his combine. So, I like this move. I think it's a good move. It's not like Issac Yiadom produced a ton while he was with the New York Giants last year. These were some of his strengths coming out of college. Has mind-blowing ball hawking season, talking about the 27 passes defended, tall with long arms, allowed a 41.3% completion rate, made a play on 25.7% of his targets, makes his own fortune, instincts are top-notch, plays the ball and not the man, flash supreme ball skills, high point winner with ability to pull down the one-arm grab, put together monster performance in big games, finished with 3 interceptions in the upset win over Ohio State and 2 pick sixes against Washington. Anticipates routes, allowed no touchdown after week 4. And that actually was it. That's all that I had for you guys there. But the way I look at this trade is it's 2 players that I think both sides probably view are players that are better than what they've produced so far at the NFL level. I think that's why the Giants brought in Yiadom to begin with. And obviously the Giants were left, not happy with Yiadom last year, and you could probably say the same thing. Matter of fact, you could definitely say the same thing for the Green Bay Packers with Josh Jackson. Why it makes sense for the Giants. Obviously, he's known to be a guy that could excel in press man coverage. A guy that Patrick Graham, I think, a coach that we all agree with, seems like a very smart mind, had firsthand experience with, and he definitely, if I had to guess, was on board with making this move and probably influenced Dave Gettleman in this decision. Yiadom's a guy that I don't think any of us had any confidence in at all if he was going to see the field this year. Not to say that I want Josh Jackson to see the field this year, being that we have both Adoree', who we expect to have an increased role, and of course James Bradbury on the other side. But I do think it's definitely a potential upgrade for the Giants if we are to see an injury. And the Giants secondary continues to improve themselves. And the fact that he has some special teams experience, I'm sure didn't hurt the New York Giants when looking to bring him in. As far as Morris goes, it's unfortunate. I know a lot of Giants fans may have been rooting for him. I thought he was a long shot. I thought he was insurance in case Barkley may not be ready to go week 1. What this tells me as a Giant fan is it's more than likely that Saquon Barkley will be suiting up week 1 against the Denver Broncos, and it leaves the door open in case they're going with 5 for the long shot Sandro Platzkummer to potentially make this team. I still think they'll be going with 4, and I think Saquon Barkley, more than likely, will be shooting up week 1. Probably not in full capacity, but expect to see him on the field against the Denver Broncos. But as always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.